Okay, guys, good morning. Remember that I told you that I would be recording a video for you to explain the last task of this course. So if we come to our classroom and you go straight up to assignments, you will find the final task right here, which is, as I mentioned in earlier sessions, that it would be analyzing the film The Embrace of the Serpent. The idea of this last task is to follow these instructions that have been created carefully to show you the step-by-step process that you need to take into account when creating your task. The task basically involves not just watching the movie, but analyzing it through the spectrum of the many topics that we have covered in our class. Let's say. So, since the movie it's about uh, the encounter of many cultures, if I want to be specific, is a European culture versus the native culture of certain area of the Amazon River. In this scenario, these cultures are interacting not just linguistically, but also interacting in the sense of cultures. And if we are careful when analyzing the movie, we will immediately recognize that when languages are in contact, linguistic worlds are colliding. Remember Sarah Thomason's statement that language contact is not just about languages at the same time, at the same place, but it's all about culture as well. That we have to take into account how different cultures have created different approaches to reality. These approaches are languages. And remember that languages are like interfaces that are helping you interact with the material world and create it and recreate it. So in this case, when you watch the movie, you will find these connections there. You will also find, for example, certain scenes in the movie that will take you to this idea of how languages die, how the diminishment of languages in favor of a dominant language. In this case, would be Spanish. Remember the encounter of these two worlds, people coming from different kingdoms in the other part of the world, coming to this other area or geographical area, later known or named America. So when 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 these people came, they slaved, murdered, or killed or slaughtered. You may use one of these verbs to describe the scenario that happened. They forced indigenous communities, different indigenous communities, to adopt the new language, the new culture. The new culture means religion. The new culture means new language. The new culture means renaming the reality according to the new language. Therefore, their reality changes immediately and they start thinking in a different way because now they are part of a new reality, the European reality. So what I want you to understand is that this movie is the perfect scenario to apply a certain analysis based on the different topics that we have gone through in this class. The most interesting thing is that I will not tell you what to do in relation to which of these theories you can analyze. It's up to you. When you watch the movie, you will immediately recognize that you can apply this or that theory in order to create your script. So this now I am to explain how the creation of a podcast should be. So take into consideration that when recording a podcast is not just the technical aspects of the exercise, but also it involves um, typing your ideas previously so you know what to do, because in front of the mic you're not supposed to um, improvise, or if you do improvise, it's based on an already existing idea that is going to guide your process of telling the audience your analysis about the movie. So the creation of a podcast is eight is an 8 minute length, or yeah, the length of the podcast. It's 8 minutes. So 8 minutes is enough time to display the set of knowledges that you have in relation to the analysis of this movie. So I think it's enough time. My suggestion to you guys is that you use Anchored. Well, it used to be named Anchored. Now it's a Spotify for podcasters, because Anchored it's now part of Spotify. So it's you can find many tutorials online on how to develop or to create your podcast. So I'm just going to give you tips, but before moving into the tips, I'm going to show you that these are the different extra material that you have here to engage your task. For example, you have the rubric. So I'm going to show you the rubric. So I'm going to be paying attention to the introduction. Okay, so advanced, proficient, developing, and need development. The content need the specific details. So in the content, vocabulary enhances content, or vocabulary is adequate, or vocabulary is inappropriate, in the sense that I will be paying attention to the words that you use to describe the movie. If it is informal language, or is it, or if it is a really academic, powerful language that you use to describe your your analysis. The delivery, so it is well rehearsed. When recording a podcast, you will notice that you will get nervous in front of the mic, because it happens. You tend to clarify your words, going back and forth between sentences, repeating. So my advice to you is that you take your time to learn the script that you create based on the analysis. You rehearse with your partner, or partners plural, or classmates, the necessary adjustments that you will make in order to make this podcast flow easily, just as any conversation. And basically that's what you have to keep in mind, that when podcasting, it's all about flow. It's all about having a natural conversation. And if you are well trained in the sense that it's rehearsed, it will flow naturally, just as a conversation. Okay, rehearsed. It appears unrehearsed, that you improvised. So I don't want you to do that. Enter the technical production. And now I'm gonna be picky and extremely cautious when reviewing your exercise. It means that now we have all the tools, especially those that are coming from artificial intelligence, that can help us enhance the sound of our exercise. So I'm going to give you a tip. So if you come here to Adobe Audio, this is just the beta phase, but it is for free. So you go here to audio recording and editing software, audio, Adobe Audition. Here, I'm already part of this exercise. So Audition. No, it's sorry, it's not Adobe Audition, it's Adobe Podcast. Adobe Podcast. From here, well, it looks like they changed the page. So I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like they changed it because I remember having a possibility to clean the audio using Adobe Podcast. Well, if you don't have the possibility of recording your audio using Adobe Podcast, it means that maybe you need to be careful about recording. What I mean is that try to record your podcast in an scenario that it's mainly silence. For example, my dog is barking right now, maybe. So maybe this it's barking, maybe be an interference that is part of this recording. So you need to be careful about this, okay? Try to record in certain spaces and at certain hour because now in that way you can avoid interferences from the outside world, okay? If by any chance I find a way to clean the audio, because I used to clean the audio using Adobe Audio, I will let you know, okay? But let's go back to the task. So this is the rubric that you have to need to you need to take into consideration. So because the rubric is going to guide you through what I will observe in your exercise. Here you have a link to Spotify for podcasters to train yourselves in the creation of a podcast. Or if you need a hand or guidance, let me know and I will guide you through the process of creating this. So again, you read this carefully, the task, you get to know the program that you're going to use to record your podcast. In this case would be uh, Spotify for podcasters. Read the movie, analyze the movie, create your script. So you practice to a clock. So you all start a conversation with a clock to measure the length of your conversation. Remember, 8 minutes. And with Spotify for podcasters, you can add music, intro, outro. But I will give you a suggestion. When adding music to your exercise, please try to keep your music at a minimum level so the music is just in the background, because I have heard exercises where the music is too loud that it becomes the main theme of the exercise. Therefore, I cannot listen to the words that are being said by the members or the crew that is part of this exercise. So be careful when adding music, because music is interesting because it provides ambient, it provides a soundtrack for your exercise, and it's cool when you have these type of options. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you here, and if you have any doubt in relation to this exercise, please let me know, because I'm there for you to guide you through the best product that you can create. Okay, so I say goodbye, and if you have doubts, please let me know.